Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Nadia, the owner and maker of New Mom Spirits, and I'm here today to share with you this design. What we're going to use is we're going to use my 30 oz skinny straight. So you can see it's a perfect straight tumbler because I found I'm going to like it more and it's going to look more like a proper straight candle than the tapper one that I also have. And some of the things that I saw in multiple tutorials that I watched, what we're gonna need right now straight away, it's gonna be our heat gun. I have my heat gun and I have my replacement blocks here of wax because you never know how many we will need. And another thing that you're gonna need is your heat gun because once you start putting the hot glue, you know it dries really fast. So we're gonna use the heat gun to actually warm up the glue to make sure it's running and it's going in the proper way. But anyway, you're gonna see the step by step right now. So let's get on with it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna put a little bit over here, over all of this. We're gonna go with the heat gun and we're gonna start letting it drop. Something really important what I've done is I already put my pipe here so I can hold it. I don't have to touch the tumbler much. And second, you need to think that this project is all about gravity. So you all the time want to rest your tumbler this way because this is how we want the drip to go. If you leave it like this, the drips will go that way. If you leave it upside down, it will go up, it won't go down, if that makes any sense. So while you are working, do it like this. Once you want it to rest and drip, put it this way, if it makes any sense to you. Let's get on with it. We're gonna go around the entire top of the tumbler first. Don't worry about drying because we are doing it quick. It doesn't matter if it's messy. Remember, we're just gonna heat it now and everything is gonna start dripping slowly. This is no rhyme nor reason, to be honest, because it's like a candle. When a candle starts melting, it doesn't have any sense, right? Let's go. We do it just for a few seconds. Anyway, the glue is already hot. So I'm gonna go now, wherever I don't like how is it look, there are some bits that I can see I forgot. So I'm gonna put again glue there, and then is where I'm gonna drip. And then again, I'm gonna come here because I don't like it, and then I'm gonna drip down. Do always like this, okay? So you break the glue. So again, I put it in there, and then I drip it, and then I let go. Don't focus on perfect lines. Don't focus on, oh, let me let this type of gap in between and then, no, okay? We're not here for that. Again, candles are really natural and they just, each of them, if you light 10 candles at the same time, 10 of them will look completely different. So that's the point of this, okay? Let's go. The more you use the heat gun, the hotter the tumbler is gonna become, so the more running is going to be, okay? So you can always, if you want to wait a little bit, depends how you see the project, you could always wait a little bit before you do the next dripping. Again, we are just at the beginning. We need to do a lot of this, so it's okay if it's all running, that's what we want. And then again, because it's really hot, the tumbler, you don't want to touch the tumbler right now, believe me, it's extremely hot. So you want to let it be. You just want to make sure it's all runny. And then if it's stop being runny at some point, it's fine. As soon as it's dripping, that is not everything stay on the base, it should be absolutely fine. Try to take those hairs out. So you can see, this is how we're doing. We still have a lot journey to go. So I'm just gonna kind of fast forward from now, but this is what you have to do. Just keep putting it and then heat it, hitting it. Again, as I say, the tumbler, not down here, but up here, it's really hot. And I imagine over here, up here is boiling. So obviously all the glue that I'm putting is automatically running. It's not gonna stay as a block. I don't wanna make a huge block on top. I know a lot of people love huge blocks of wax here. That's not my concept of what I want. I want more of a dripping than anything else. Extremely hot, so I'm gonna leave it for a few seconds, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go again through the top, and I'm gonna kind of make it a little bit more bumpy, not excessively. The thing is, like, I have a picture of a candle in front of me right now, so that's what I'm taking as a sample, and I'm like, okay, this is how does it look, let's do it, just to give you sort of an idea of what I'm doing right now. So I have this side that for sure, as you can see, that one is going really low, so that's going to be the back. And then here we have a lot that is going to be the front. I'm just going to make sure I double some of them more. And then, I mean, it's entirely your choice. This is something that even if you do 2 tumblers, one after another, they're not going to look the same. Because it's hard to repeat yourself twice in a lot of things, not only on this. There's a lot of things. I kind of like those gaps in between. Obviously now looks so weird. Once everything actually is painted, it's gonna look way better. And the idea that I have, a lot of people have said, and I've seen it done, that they actually use acrylic paint. So they actually just like brush acrylic paint and then that's it. And then after that, I'm actually going to use alcohol inks, but the alcohol inks is actually gonna go inside the epoxy. So when I put the layer of the epoxy, I could actually do mica. So I'm gonna think about that, if I'm gonna use mica or I'm gonna use alcohol ink. I like the effect of the mica that I done the other day for my if you haven't watched it, the video of the marble mug that I made, that was really nice, and I might use that. Why not? I need this to stop dripping. That's gonna be a hard job, believe me. Stay there like that. Okay, so yeah, let's leave it for a few seconds to cool down, see how does it look, and if anything has to be touched up. But so far, so good. As you can see, that's how our candle looks so far. Again, when it's absolutely dry, when you kind of like touch it here and it's cooled down, we're gonna go through the run a little bit again to like make it a tiny little bit thicker. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so here we are at the next morning. I'm working as fast as I can in so many things that I just literally film when I have 5 seconds, and especially today I'm kids free, so let's do it. Okay, this is the next morning, and this is how does it look. I absolutely love it. I love it, the second bump that I managed to do in some of them. But as you can see, can you see those excess of glue? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a sanding block. As you can see, this one is really old. I use it multiple times, especially I use it to do sanding on wet. And then I'm just gonna go through the glue. I also went through it with my X-Acto knife, but we're gonna go through these bits and we're gonna try to make sure we get rid of as many as possible, because we don't want to have another bumpy around. Okay, so even if I can still see it there, but when I go through with my finger, I should not feel it, if that makes any sense to you. Obviously now when we paint it, it's gonna kind of not be visible, but if it's bumpy, it's gonna be visible, if that makes any sense to you. So that's why we go a little bit with a sanding block to make sure we clear it. And then we're gonna clean it all with alcohol, because obviously we wanna make sure there are no fingerprints. Listen, doesn't matter how much you wash your hands before you start working. Our hands produce natural oil every second of the day. So even if I wash my hands 5 minutes ago, my hands are oily already, even if I don't feel it. I'm a person that I always have really dry hands, so I have to wear cream on my hand all the time. I put lip balm all the time. So even if I wash my hands, the products doesn't go 100% out of your hand. So all of that go to your beautiful tumblers. And when you are gonna go and put your epoxy is when you get horrible fish eyes and horrible stuff because your tumbler wasn't clean enough. We already sanded at the beginning. I know I didn't share it on this video, but I share it in every video. You always should sand your tumblers before you start working. Wash it or clean it with alcohol and then start working. But again, here I am double sanding it and then again making sure, don't touch the glue, okay? All right, I'm happy with that. Then I have these, the coffee filters. This is the ones that I use. I actually bought them when I start last year. I bought a huge box that come with so many packages like this. And I still have them. I still have a lot of them. Sometimes it depends what I'm doing, because sometimes I use one paper just to like clear around. For example, now that I'm doing my candles, speaking about candles, but I do now aromatic candles. So just to clean the jar that is absolutely clean, it's just in case there's a little bit of dust, I use one of these and then I kind of reuse it throughout the day with all the jars that I'm doing. But you can see, yes, this is why it has to be clean, okay? You can see how is it that. And then we're gonna go up in between all of these and make sure it's all clean. Turn the paper around where it's clean. A little bit more of alcohol. I have these ones. And then I put alcohol because I have alcohol and acetone. And obviously, you don't want to confuse that. And I just go through it. And then make sure everything is absolutely beautifully done. And now I have my acrylic paint. This one I've got it in Hobbycraft. It's the 116 titanium white. You can see it there. These are the sachets that they sell. If you do a lot of this and you need it more and you know you're gonna consume a lot, obviously it's way cheaper if you buy the huge one. This one is, I don't know, where is it? 120 ml, but they have like a huge one. I don't go through it with like much. And I also have a lot of acrylic paint from my daughter's homeschooling. So when I need it and I'm missing some color, I take it from hers. So yeah, we don't touch it anymore. Obviously, we just clean it and then my hands are dirty. So I'm gonna put this on the holder that I have there in front of me. I'm gonna go and get it and I'm gonna get a brush and we're gonna start painting this beauty. Or you can spray paint it. I've got a new spray paint. It's not a really expensive one. I have to say it's kind of like a good one and it's cheap. It's from the Plastic Coat, the Perfect Finish Super Multi-Surface Spray Paint Matte White. I've got this one the other day because, as I shared in previous videos, I was using the Cobra one, and Cobra and Epoxy were not friends, and that annoys so much that you have a really nice design or you just have to put a layer of epoxy and then all of a sudden you have all of these fish eyes that you're like, oh, let's do another layer of epoxy because I have the whole day to put epoxy, right? Especially with young kids. All right, let's keep going. With my holder, if you question yourself, how did I do that? I didn't do it, my ex-husband did it. And basically he took a board that we found 2020. Everybody was refurbished their houses, throwing a lot of wood. We took advantage. We took woods from a lot of houses. This was one of them. And then he chopped it and he just used the Gorilla Glue to glue this one on it. And then you just put it. It's really old, so not all of my pipes actually fit on because some of them they've been used a lot, and this is what happened, they get damaged. So that's why I like to cut the pipes a little bit long, because with the time I will have to chop this and then put a new one and then so on and so on. But yeah, for the moment, I mean, to just keep it rest, even if it's not 100% stays like if I hit it, it will fall. But it works. I mean, sometimes it's like that. And as I say, it's a cheap thing that you can do. And I don't know in other countries, but I have to say here, if you didn't know, if you go to B&Q, they actually have a section on the tills before you leave where it's like 3 pieces of boards. So if you needed to cover your table and then you want like a thin piece of wood, they have it for free. And if you want a thicker one, they have it. They have a lot of pieces like this. So you could also get them and then do them. And they also appreciate if you have any type of materials that you don't want anymore, especially wood materials, to just drop it there. So it's like a swap in between, swap in between people in need. Because sometimes who wants to buy one of these huge long panels of wood? All right, and then I'm using these brushes. I got it on a pack of 3, and I can't remember where I've got this. I will have to ask my friend what was the name of the shop because she was with me. And then I've got it, 3 of them. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna use to apply. Okay, I'm sorry, I was in a business call, and when I was on a business call, I decided to do the second layer because otherwise it's just like the day keep passing by, I'm really busy and I'm not gonna be able to move forward. So as you can see here, we are on the second layer. I've done all of these that you can see on purpose because that's the idea of what I want. And then when I put the epoxy, it's gonna look like this on the background. This is something you always have to keep in mind. However it looks, any design that you do right now, when you put the epoxy, it's gonna even be more visible, all right? That's something really important you always have to keep in mind. I want it to look this way. I want it to look like a cracking, vintage, old-fashioned candle. I don't want it to look smooth. I don't want it to look perfect. So that's why I use this brush. If you wanted something more smooth, first of all, I will suggest you to spray paint it. Simple and easy. All flat, perfect, fine. You wanted to do it acrylic paint as well. You will need to have like a softer brush, more of like a, this is what I use with the alcohol inks, but you will need something more like this. This is like a foundation brush. So this one will not leave you marks. That's why we use this one with the alcohol ink. So it's just smoothly let you move everything around. Okay, that's something to always keep in mind. Okay, so far I'm absolutely amazing. Like I can't wait to keep moving forward. You can see already how amazing this design look like. Again, I'm gonna completely let it dry. Once it's absolutely and completely dry, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna put a thin layer of epoxy, but if you want to keep it white, perfect. I don't want it white. So first layer of epoxy, I will try to film it, I promise, but I'm too busy and I might absolutely forget, like happened multiple times. So first layer of epoxy is gonna be clear epoxy, that's it. The second one, which that one, yes, I'm gonna film it because it's important, is where I'm gonna use the mica powders. And then I'm gonna show you which mica powder I'm using, and then I'm gonna show you how does it look, because again, I don't want it to be like this. I want it to have that kind of like yellowy, beige, brown, however you want to say, color of the real candles. Okay, I don't like white candles. I mean, I do white candles, that's funny, but I mean, for this style of ones, I like the old-fashioned one, like when you go to church. So here we are, as you can see, we already done one layer of epoxy. Don't do it really thick, because again, we're gonna do white thick one now. I'm gonna use green gold, and I'm gonna use the dark gold mica powders. You can use whichever one you want. I'm gonna mix them. I'm gonna create that kind of like a 2 shades in one. I changed a little bit of mine, and I want to go a little bit darker with the style, because again, I was thinking to go on like a light beige, but it's probably gonna turn more to the white side. And as I said previously, I don't want to have it white. So I already have some epoxy ready while I was filming this video because I was doing more tumblers. So I was kind of like using the same epoxy for all of them. I'm using again the artisan epoxy. Do not use fast set when you're doing this. We need our time, we need our preparation, and a fast set tends to dry extremely quick. Fast set will be for last layers or for like unique layers on any design, no for layers that you're gonna use alcohol inks or mica powder, at least under my suggestion, my opinion, my experience. So really easy peasy, just mix them. Your epoxy is already ready, so you just have to pour it and make sure that you go through all of the glue areas, and you make sure you cover them. You make sure there's no white spaces. Yes, there are gonna be some, you're gonna see them now in a minute in the video. They were at the end, some pieces that were a little bit brighter that maybe I have planned for, but they look amazing on the final result, so I cannot complain. I was a little bit panicking, honestly, in that moment, but try to make sure that everything is that. Also, you need to think that while your tumbler is hot, while your epoxy is curing, there's a lot of details on the tumbler, so obviously all the epoxy is gonna move, and when it's all flat and smooth is different story, but in this case everything was running everywhere. So yeah, as you can see, I could have done a really thin layer, but I'm gonna go with a big layer of epoxy to cover the entire tumbler. So yeah, let's just do this step and I see you in a minute.